corner. So many people are turning their attention to goal setting and making resolutions. That's awesome. But the majority of people who go through this kind of annual exercise don't actually achieve their goals or keep their resolutions. So I want to propose a new approach. This year, focus your attention on who you want to be or who you need to be to get the results that you want in the new year. You see, the ability to do anything requires that you be the type of person who can tackle that activity or behavior successfully. So start the new year with a focus on who you need to be, who you need to become, the identity you need to embody to do what you want to do in the next 12 months. So the key is to be that person now. So I talked about getting out of bed without hitting the snooze alarm for years, or the snooze button, without success. I could not get myself out of bed when the alarm went off. I would always hit the snooze button a couple times. And the reason I wanted to get up early was to have a morning routine that would allow me to kind of align with my higher self, to, have some spiritual time, some time to meditate, to light a candle, to journal, maybe to exercise. And I just, if I stayed in bed an extra 30 or 45 minutes, I didn't have time for that. So in the last few months, I actually have gotten up every day. Well, not on the weekend, but during the week, I have gotten up every day when my alarm goes off. I occasionally change when my alarm goes off based on when I go to sleep because I want to get 8 hours of sleep. But I get up when the alarm goes off. Now that could mean that I turn the alarm off and I do some self-hypnosis before I actually get out of bed. But I am awake at that point and ready to get up. And some days I just get up and I go do my self-hypnosis or meditation, or I exercise. Most days I exercise. So I have been doing this because I decided that that if I wanted to have that morning routine, I had to be the kind of person who could get up out of bed every day and not hit the snooze alarm. And so I just committed to that. And I said, what kind of people get up out of bed when they say they do? Well, it's the kind of person who doesn't hit the snooze alarm. I have to stop. I have to be a person who doesn't hit the snooze alarm, period. I just have to be a person who doesn't hit the snooze alarm. And if that's my identity, that I get up in the morning, then I'll get up. Also relates to my writing. I wasn't writing as much as I wanted to write. I've talked about this a lot, that I really had gotten off track and wasn't writing on a regular basis. I mean, I write blog posts all the time, but I wasn't working on my books or on essays or articles. And I realized that I had to step back into the role of being a writer. But part of that was being the type of person who is aligned with and fulfills her purpose, because I feel through my writing, I fulfill my purpose. So I had to say, okay, what kind of person does that? It's the kind of person who spends time in the morning getting aligned, meditating, journaling, feeling connected to their higher self, and being able to allow in that creative flow, right? And I had to be someone who could sit down and write every day. So I felt the need to do this because it was going to feed my soul. I felt empty and off purpose, and I wanted to feed my soul. That's something I talk about a lot in my Inspired Creator community, where we all gather to figure out how to live a life that feeds our soul. So for me, even if I was going to offer that program, I needed to be that person who was living that way. I had to be a person who was aligned with and fulfilled my purpose by writing on a regular basis, consistently. So there's some steps that you can take to embody this new identity, to be the person who can actually achieve your goals in the new year and keep those commitments, right? So here are those, sorry, my computer's doing weird things. So since it's too cold to be outside and it's already dark, I'm recording in my office, as you can see. So my computer made some noises, I apologize. Anyway, so the steps you can take to step into, embody this new identity, to be the person you need to be to achieve your goals and keep your resolutions. So number one, the first step you're going to take is you're going to identify your goals. So you have to know what you want to achieve in the new year, right? And you also have to make your resolutions and say, these are the things I resolve to do. I actually don't really like the word resolve. It feels very negative to me. So, what are the changes you want to make? Maybe we should put it that way. So identify your goals, then identify the changes you want to make. And then the third thing to do is to ask yourself, what type of person would achieve these goals? So you need to really get clear on what kind of qualities they would have. What's their personality like, their behavior, their daily activities? What do they believe? How do they speak to themselves, and maybe even to others? What are their values? So look at people and actually, see who's achieved those kind of goals that you want to achieve, or made and kept those types of resolutions, made those changes. So for me, I had to really stop and say, okay, so if I'm going to get out of bed every morning, what's the personality of somebody like that? Well, they're super committed and they're driven, and they do what they have self-integrity. They do what they say they're going to do. They place importance on their values are around having that time for themselves in the morning, right? They tell themselves they can do it. They explain to themselves all the time why it's important. So I thought about the kind of people who do that. Like there's Robin Sharma with his 5 a.m. club, and there's Hal Elrod with his Miracle Morning, right? So what are those people like? I just looked at that. Okay, so now number 4 is to determine how like or unlike these people you are. So if you identify somebody like Robin Sharma, how like or unlike this person are you? Now, comparison tends to lead to unhappiness. The goal is not to compare yourself to this other person, but to just say, what traits do they have that I don't have that I need to adopt? Okay, so that's where the comparison happens. It's just how like or unlike them am I? And then once you have that information, you can go on to step number 5, which is to commit to be like that person. Now, you need to be like you, but the new identity. And you have to look at what these other traits are that people have and begin to embody them yourself. And that takes commitment. You can see what you're committed to just by looking around at your life. Are you committed to getting out of bed first thing in the morning when the alarm goes off? Or are you committed to staying in bed? You can see by how you run your day. Are you committed to losing weight, or are you committed to eating ice cream every night? This is an issue of mine. Are you committed to a better relationship with your partner, or committed to staying angry and resentful? Okay, so you have to be committed to becoming this new person. Okay, to becoming, it's not a totally new person, but this new identity to embody these new characteristics. And the 6th step is to plan to actually make those changes. Okay, so what happens when the alarm goes off, right? Well, how are you going to make sure you write every day? How are you going to make sure that you don't eat ice cream every night? So how will you make the changes? Ice cream is easy, just stop buying it. My solution was don't buy it and only get ice cream once or twice a month when I go out, right? The alarm going off is a different story. A lot of people will put the alarm across the room so they have to get up. And once they're out of bed, they just don't get back in bed. That's one way to make sure you make the change. With writing every day, I've had to actually, block out time on my calendar. Say in the morning, once I'm done with my meditation or whatever, the first thing I do is I write. So you need a plan to make sure that you make those changes. So a lot of times people set goals, make resolutions, and they don't have a plan for how to actually carry it out. Your first step is to plan how to be this person who can do the things you want to do. So last, let's talk a little bit about how you know if you will follow through. So from my work as a high performance coach, which I also provide in the Inspired Creator community and also to writers in my Nonfiction Writers University, we look a lot at things like this. How do we make sure we're going to follow through? And so here are some questions you can ask yourself, okay? One is who you want to be, that future identity, is that actually an identity you want to embody. So the things you want to accomplish, your goals, your resolutions, do they pertain to your future identity, to the identity that's, you see yourself embodying or showing up as being in 3 months, 6 months, a year? Are your goals and resolutions related to what you see yourself doing over the long term? Because if being this person isn't relevant to who you want to be in 6 months or a year, or what you're going to do long term, then the likelihood is you're not going to follow through. Also, does becoming this person, being this person, provide you with intrinsic and extrinsic value? Is the goal, is being that person going to help you do what you're passionate about, what you enjoy, what you feel would feel proud of? Would it help you contribute? And would you do it regardless of money, status, recognition, power, those kinds of extrinsic rewards? So the first ones I talked about, feeling proud, feeling passionate, contributing, these are intrinsic rewards. Another question you could ask yourself is, will becoming this person help you achieve the results or outcomes you desire? So if you don't think that transforming yourself into this new identity, or taking on these characteristics or traits can help you do what you want to do, or you think it's going to make you lose out on things that are important to you, then the likelihood is you won't follow through. If it's going to cost you too much time, energy, effort, resources, willpower, that kind of thing that you might need somewhere else, the likelihood is you're not going to stay committed to this. Also, is it possible for you to step into the new identity, enjoy the results quickly, or are you going to have to wait a long time? Because a lot of us, most of us, are pretty impatient, and we want change to happen right away. And if that's you, and this is going to take a long time, then you may not be, you may not follow through. I keep saying the same thing. You won't follow through. So you have to know that you're going to get results in a time frame that you can, that are okay with you, that will keep you moving forward. Also ask yourself whether, if you were already this person, if you were already this, had this identity, had adopted these character traits, would you be able to do the things you want to do on your own, or would you need additional help and support? Because sometimes when we feel like we need help or support, we're not willing to ask for it, which means we will not follow through. If you can do it on your own, then you're only responsible to yourself, right? And so then if you commit and you follow through, it's all about you. It's about you and your ability to do that. If you need additional help or support, that's fine, but you have to know you can get it, right? Also, will people in your friends, family, will they support you in becoming this person, this type of person who can achieve your goals and keep your resolutions? Are they going to be your cheerleaders? Are they going to egg you on, hold you accountable? And do you even need that? Because maybe you don't need that, but if people are judging you or telling you that it's stupid, or that you're going to fail, or what is it, who are you to become this person, whatever, then that makes it harder. So you have to ask yourself whether you have the ability to stand up to them. Last, I would ask, do you believe you have the ability to become this type of person and do the things you want to do? Do you have the skill, the will, the time, the energy, the focus? Do you have the resources? Do you trust yourself to move forward? And can you do that without needing permission from someone else? Do you have that decision-making authority necessary to step into this new way of being in the world? Because again, if you feel like you need permission from someone else, if you feel like you don't have the skill or the time or the willpower, it's going to be much harder. So if you follow these, if you ask yourself these questions, follow those 6 steps, and really focus on being the person who can achieve your goals and keep those resolutions, then you will find the new year quite successful for you. You're going to get the results you really want to get. And it really is the key between achieving your goals and not achieving your goals, about keeping your resolutions and not keeping your resolutions. I would like to see you really crush the new year. And that's about transformation, personal transformation. And, you know, that is a process, but you can do it. And it can happen overnight. It can happen in the blink of an eye, or it could take you a long time. And that you can figure that out, how long it's going to take you and whether you have the ability to follow through by putting to use what I shared with you in this video. I'm Nina Amir. I'm the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I work with people who want to get from where they are to where they want to go and don't want to let themselves get in the way anymore, because it's what's going on up here that gets in our way. I also work with people who, like me, are trying to figure out how to live a life that feeds their soul, how to stop doing the things other people want them to do or what they're expected to do, and to do what they feel their soul is asking them to do, what they feel compelled to do, that make the contribution they want to make. So if any of that's of interest to you, check out my Inspired Creator community up above. Might be over here, can't ever tell. Check out the Inspired Creator community. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one on any of these things that I mentioned, then go ahead and fill out the application, which is also above. There's a link for certified high performance coaching, one-on-one certified high performance coaching. And I will help you get from where you are to where you want to go without anything getting in the way. And I will help you figure out how to feed your soul and live a life that does that on a consistent basis. So that's it for today. Until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.